Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or are you just happy to see me?
I have to add us because I was like looking at the other screen to see, like, make sure it was like going. But welcome, yes, we are like here for the second part of the ones and twos. Obviously, talking volume 2 for Kill Bill. Basically, in my opinion, the conclusion of the story. Why there's even still talk about doing a volume 3, I have no idea. But this is the definitive conclusion because, well, as the title suggests, the ultimate goal of the bride is to kill Bill.
Kill Bill Volume 3, Kill the Bride is what they should call it because there's potential there. Because otherwise, there's no potential because Bill's already dead.
Yeah, I'm saying, but like at the same time, it's like the whole point of the title Kill Bill is like she's going to kill Bill. She literally says it as a line. So it's like you put Kill Bill in the title, it kind of doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, this, I saw, or freaking David Carradine, like, was found dead in, I believe, Japan.
I thought it was Thailand.
One of those Asian countries.
I think it was Thailand because he was into some. I'm not going to pretend I am anything less than, let's say weird when it comes to certain things, certain tastes. But even I was like, wow, you're into some weird shit. Because it was like basically one of those like basically getting sexual gratification by auto asphyxiation. Basically, is how.
Yeah, he was found hung in a closet.
Yeah, and I'm like I'm not kink shaming, all right. It's like,
yeah,
people who know me know that that I'm far from anyone that kink shames, but I was like, I wouldn't go that far.
No, I mean, I get choking I get choking can be erotic because, well, it gets the blood pumping right after you let go, but still.
But how he did it, I was like, just have someone do it to you. That way, you could have a safe word or something, like that person will stop. Like, he used a belt basically and did it himself and choked himself to death. So
I thought it was self-deletion, honestly.
It's like, no, it was just a kink that went horribly fucking wrong. But anyway,
Jeez. Imagine being a Thai hooker.
Yes, rest in peace, David Carradine.
Yep,
best known for actually the Kung Fu The Legend Continues series. I don't know if anybody ever watched that, but he's probably best known for that. And he is the title, literally. The character title. He's a titular character. He is Bill, aka the Snake Charmer.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have the 4 under his command, so to speak, basically. At least the ones that are going after the bride. But, Cottonmouth and Copperhead were already taken care of in Volume 1, and now that leaves Sidewinder and California Mountain Snake. That is a mouthful, trying to say that.
Funny thing, everybody's like, we need to Kill Bill Volume 3. It's like, honestly, Volume 2 is sort of 2 movies in one because, the Pai Mei sequence is essentially a movie in itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's why I said, it's everything concludes in this movie.
I don't hound.
Everything concludes in this movie. But before I say, I just tweeted out that we were live. Before I say hello to the chat, what we didn't cover last week is which one we prefer of the 2, Volume 1 or Volume 2. Now, me, as much as I like the first one, primarily for the fight sequences, as a story, I prefer the second one. I prefer Volume 2.
I agree with you. Story-wise, Volume 2 is superior. Volume 1 has the better fight and choreography.
Yeah.
Because if you think about what is the 2 fights in this movie, then the fight with Bill, they all are extremely brief.
They're all extremely brief. They are still satisfying in their briefness. I did appreciate how the fight with Bill was handled because there is that level of intimacy between the two, which it wouldn't make sense for it to be an all-out duel.
No.
between them, like unlike with Copperhead and Cottonmouth in the first one, and even with El Driver in this one, aka California Mountain Snake, pretty much. But yeah, but basically the conclusion is she's going through all the people who did her wrong in the worst way possible, and we see, unlike in the first movie, we see the aftermath.
Yeah,
happened, and like it wasn't a wedding per se; it was the wedding rehearsal. So basically, the bride clarifies that at the beginning of this movie. But we see all the events leading up to the massacre, like right as the 4 assassins enter the church. So, but anyways, like I said, story-wise, I prefer the second movie, and I love Gordon Liu coming back as a different character, because in the first one, Gordon Liu was basically, I would say, the
head of the Crazy 88,
basically. In this one, he's Pai Mei, which is that's like an interesting character. We'll talk about the character Pai Mei when we get to that scene. But from the top, I see Trey Courtney. Hello, ready for this discussion? Yeah, Pai Mei is one of my favorite characters of all time. He is a trip.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I informed Gravy D that I watched these movies actually through Amazon Prime. They're free.
Oh my god,
they're available on Prime. That's how I watch them. That's how I'm going to bring it up.
Nice.
So like you're saying, like, I haven't seen these in a long time because I can't can't find his DVDs. I'm like, they're on Prime, right?
Yeah, right.
They're free on Prime, so I watched them. Mike Hill, hello. Jaluk, what is up? I'm not exactly going to give a review per se. I might do a rant during my stream tomorrow evening if I get the entirety of all 3 episodes watched, because good fucking lord, it's over 3 hours. Each one's like an hour or a little bit more than an hour. The first 3, and they're dropping all at once.
Mm-hmm.
They're dropping all 3 episodes all at once, and it's like a little over 3 hours. So dear Christ. And that's without commercials, because it's dropping on Prime, so there's no fucking commercials. So it's not like, it's like an hour long, I can skip through these ad breaks. No.
Yeah, there's no, or me, folks, there's no way that I can't, I have full access to watch them. Shit, I could have actually watched them early, but I'm not going to say any more than that. Mm-hmm. I made a promise to the memory of Tolkien that I would not do it. Mm-hmm. And I plan on sticking by that promise.
I understand that. How I'm essentially honoring Tolkien is basically tearing the series a new one by defending like what he wrote and tearing down what they're trying to pass off as based on Tolkien's work. Because I'm going to watch at least the credits for the first episode, because in the first season they had the fucking audacity to say based on like the works of like J.R.R. Tolkien. So I want to see if they still have that audacity in season 2.
They should say loosely based.
Not even loosely based.
Yeah, not even. I mean, to be completely honest,
the timeline is all over the place, and they're like basically. I read an article about how like it's like the timeline was condensed. I'm like, no, if you just condense the timeline, you'd still be following the timeline. You'd just be removing certain things that maybe we didn't have to see on screen because they would have dragged the plot. The timeline is all over the place, because you have events that should be happening near the end of the Second Age happening right now during the creation of the Rings of Power. You have Mordor being created by a fucking volcano, water like going down into this volcano, even though Mordor was in existence well before the Rings of Power were created. That's why Sauron chose it as the second hell, second Udun, as it's called. Like, it's all over the fucking place. It's not condensed. They're putting it all over the place, and then finally, one of the coup de grace is including wizards.
Yeah,
when the wizards themselves didn't enter Middle Earth until 1,000 years into the Third Age.
Yep, the Istari, not the Ishtar, but the Istari did not, because somebody fucking called them the Ishtar. It's like, shut your.
No, it's
but
Istari.
It's like yeah, it's the Istari.
And even if the showrunners came and even if what was I gonna say? Even if it's like technically, and I'm saying this is like very, very, very technically, Tolkien did change when the 2 blue wizards entered Middle Earth. right? Because he
Mhm.
had them enter Middle Earth before the other three, and that was like during like the Second Age, like late in the Second Age. However, even if they tried claiming that they're following what Tolkien did, that was well after the Lord of the Rings was published, which means they don't have the rights to it, and it
I
wasn't
guarantee
published.
you that. Yeah, I guarantee you that's what they're going to do. This
Yeah.
wizard that is there is a blue wizard.
Yeah.
Is what they're going to claim.
Yeah, I'm saying that, but they
So
like,
it's
even
like-
if they try to claim it, like you don't have the rights to it because you came out and said you only have the rights to Third Age stuff, like which is like The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, and the appendices of the Lord of the Rings. That's it.
Yeah.
So you have no right to say, oh, because Tolkien did this, we can include this. No.
Nope.
So.
It's like, sorry, but you are. I mean, because that's what they're going to do, and then it's like, see, we are respecting the lore. It's like, no, you're not,
No.
because one, you got Isildur alive in this time period.
I'm saying like that's what I'm saying. The timeline is
He was
all
like
over. Okay,
16. He's 1,600 years older in your twisted shit.
yeah, so I was saying like but like that, like trust me, I will be ranting about this after I watch them Friday, basically, because I'm waiting for the special versions I watched to drop to be available. So once those drop, I will be, if not drinking my way through Friday, close to it.
Already made the MC. What the hell is an MC? Look like some sort of.
How's it the rest of the Deadly Assassination Squad is living their best lives, but Bud is living in a shithole?
I think it's preferred though.
Yeah.
Bud prefers to live out there because here, you want to know something funny? There ain't no property tax he has to pay.
Yeah, so I'm like he comes across as someone who, like, to his boss, he comes across as a fuck up, but he really just comes across as someone who just wants to just live his life away from everyone, pretty much.
Well, not only that, I mean, I would have absolutely loved a concept or a conceptual deleted scene that I wish they had done, where Bud comes home with blood all over him because he just fucking massacred that whole place. Because it's like, fucking with me, you think I don't know what you guys, or you think I don't know this kind of life? The fuck, boy, I will fuck you up for firing me. Know, it would have given a slight bigger edge to Bud instead of him being basically the way he is. I mean, I would have
he comes
preferred
across
he
as a
had
fuck
a
up, pretty much. He's late for work. Like his boss pretty much tells him to go home and wait until like he's called to come into work, essentially. So it's like he lives in a trailer in the middle of nowhere. So it's like he comes across. He claims he hawked his Hattori Hanzo sword. So it's like it's like that's what he comes across.
I pawned that off years ago.
Yeah,
you hawked a Hattori Hanzo sword. It was priceless.
Well, I got $250 for it. So. But hey, Hound, good to see you.
And I do like how they continue to bleep her name out up to a point in this movie.
Yeah. No, like it basically was concluded that he had a kink because he would visit Thailand frequently. So it's like, and he would use that shit. It just wasn't like we didn't like find out about it literally until like that he wasn't to that kink until his body was discovered. So
yeah. It was rather unflattering.
So yeah, I'm just making Mr. Hello to everyone.
He's at least very excited to see your reviews.
Yeah.
So make sure you have your liquor ready.
Pretty much. Yes. Honestly, I'm not going to exactly do reviews. I'm basically going, at least not for the first 3 episodes, because I'm not going to do any live stream breaking those down. The episodes themselves are 3 hours, and if I were to try to do a live stream breaking down the shit in those episodes, it would be a long ass fucking stream. But the following week, like a week from this coming Saturday, I plan on doing live stream breakdowns, like live stream reviews, spoiler reviews. Not doing any spoiler-free reviews because I don't think anyone fucking cares. I like about like not getting any spoilers, pretty much.
Just make sure that you have your dialysis machines. You can keep your blood from being poisoned by all that alcohol.
See, well, like I said, I've been hustling my kick, so. But
Holy
that was
shit.
play the Golem game and this other totally reliable delivery service game. Basically, 2 games will give me an aneurysm. However, I'm hustling basically. I'm hustling for subs for my Kick channel. However, what was I gonna say? As cringe as the Gollum game is, and it is fucking cringe.
Mm-hmm.
I at least find some morbid enjoyment in playing that because it's like a meme, pretty much. I'm playing a fucking meme, as cringe as it is. It's a meme where I can find some enjoyment in it, and I also like make Gollum jump into lava occasionally, just for the shits and giggles of it.
Well, does it have good mechanics?
Not really, no.
Yeah,
It's poor. Poor. The mechanics are poor. The story is you're basically following Gollum, like it's like he's been captured by Sauron, and like you're trying to get him to escape, and I'm like,
so this is him kicking rocks from Mordor.
yeah, basically kicking rocks from Mordor, like his period of imprisonment, essentially. But hello, Doc the Butcher. Taylor Swift greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU, and Doctor Who, and sadly, I agree with that.
I cannot get into
TJ Carr.
The mere mention of that name is just.
I enjoy the Elle Bride fight, because I enjoyed it because like while there was a level of intimacy with the fight with Bill, there was like a personal, like a visceral personal angle to the Elle Bride fight. Because it go back to a line in the first movie where where Elle says, and he was like, God, I didn't like you. Like, basically, I
Point of fact, I despised you.
Point is, I despised you, but I respected you. Like the gist of the line, it's like point, but I respected you. So like, there's like that visceralness to the fight. As short as it was, there's a visceralness to the fight. So, anyway, but let me just present the screen because I have it on where she says her ultimate goal. Her ultimate goal. I'm going to kill Bill. Literally the titular character in this series. And this movie, this only has like 4 chapters. Pretty much. Only has 4 chapters because it feels like they kind of condense some stuff into into these chapters, so there's not more than 4. And basically the beginning of the movie is like a kind of a recap of what's happening. You see not a rehash, but the showing again the scene where you hear Bill's voice and he's like, you might think I'm sadistic. I'm not sadistic, as he's like basically like wiping blood from around the bride's face, and when she like initially tells him like basically the baby is his, and so forth, and then kind of like going into this where like the bride is pretty much telling the audience, this is what they stole from me. This is what I've been going through the past, like, I've been in a coma for 4 years. This is what I've been going through since waking up from a coma. All right, and now I'm going to kill Bill. Yeah, and then they show the different perspective of the massacre, pretty much. At least not a different perspective, but what led up to the massacre. So in the first one, we see the aftermath. The second one, we see the lead up to like what's happening and finding out that it wasn't a wedding; it was a wedding rehearsal, and that Bill had tracked down the bride. And the reason why he had to track down the bride, and we find out later why she left.
Mm-hmm.
So we find out later why she left, which is why Bill, essentially in his words, like just about moved heaven and earth to find her because he thought something happened to her.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, what do you think of the recap? Like, it's like as far as
the recap, plus then the scene of the rehearsal, I thought was good because he played it so well because he gave no indication of what was going to happen.
No,
he gives absolutely no indication, with exception to one bit. When he's like, you should give her away.
Yeah.
That's asking a lot. It's like he just betrayed a little bit of how much he was hurt.
Yeah.
And it's like, this dude's about to fucking waste everybody. Even if I didn't see the first movie, I would understand that he was about to do something very horrific.
Yes. And this is like basically like, you know, in this scene also we see that basically Samuel L. Jackson's small cameo role. He's the organist. Rufus.
He's the man.
He's the man, basically. So he's like, I love when he's asking them, like, you know, what he wants them to, what they want him to play. And like, like, we haven't thought about it. And he's like, "Love Me Tender."
I could play that.
You just imagine like walking down the aisle to "Love Me Tender."
I haven't heard that song in years, so I kind of forgot what it sounds like.
So, but Samuel L. Jackson plays Samuel L. Jackson.
In a lot,
but there are certain roles where it works, and this is one. This is one of them, and like in terms of the atmosphere, in this setting, pretty much because it's like they're in El Paso, Texas. I'm not saying El Paso is in the middle of nowhere, essentially, but where they are looks like it's the middle of nowhere. The guy she's marrying, Tommy, owns a used record store. She's been working in the record store. And then from what you can tell, these are individuals that she's at least met while living in El Paso and have become friends with. So they're partying the wedding party. And the pastor, I'm going to call him pastor because I don't know, like he's married, so he wouldn't be a priest.
Harmony was his last name. Yeah.
Harmony says, you know, it's like because no one is coming from the bride's side, then we'll have no issue with like basically people sitting wherever they want because the groom has a lot of people coming from, what did you say, Oklahoma? They said,
yeah,
coming from Oklahoma. So he's like, okay, we have no problem, like, you know, with like basically people sitting wherever, so that way there's like no empty seats on the bride's side. Yeah, we're for Pulp Fiction. I said like, there are roles where Samuel L. Jackson's performance works. However, my favorite Samuel L. Jackson performance is actually as Glass in Unbreakable because he showed that if not hired to play Samuel L. Jackson, he can do a good job.
Mm-hmm. He did good as Mace Windu.
But I'm saying it's like when more often than not, when Hollywood, when he's hired for a project, is because we need a Samuel L. Jackson for this role, like it's character type for this role. Let's hire Samuel L. Jackson because they basically write these roles with Samuel L. Jackson how he is in mind, like Snakes on the Plane.
Yeah,
I'm saying they write these roles because they want how he acts for that character. Yeah, it's basically like you don't see the aftermath, but like even then, like just hearing the gunfire and the screams, which is like he's but like brutal and vicious. So like I said, you know, I kind of appreciate that recap. I like the interaction with Bill and the bride, and how they start far apart, and gradually they kind of move closer to each other as they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
point,
like I said,
counterpoint.
Yeah, so it's like, and then end up basically in front of the door where they're seen, and I appreciated that. And I also noticed thing I didn't say this in like the last stream that I appreciated is like I love how the flashback is in black and white.
Yeah.
So I love how it's in black and white to kind of like basically set it apart from the rest of the film.
It's almost as if they do black and white because they click the black and white throughout these movies. And in some way, I think they're slightly poignant.
Yeah.
They have a level of importance to them. The only exception being the small bit of black and white inside the pine box. So, yeah.
Yeah, like, I know like he does it in other movies, and I love how it gives it a more noir look, basically. Like, you see how Quentin Tarantino's love for other movies, other Hollywood films and genres kind of play into how he sets up certain scenes, how he decides to shoot like certain scenes in black and white to get like a certain feel to them, and how his camera angles for other scenes, acting. Like I said, like here where it's like they start far apart and they end up closer together. And David Carradine's like basically subtle delivery
Yeah.
when he's talking to the bride, and then like you see, like as you pointed out, like the slight, like just as soon as Tommy says, "Why don't you give the bride away?" Because like the reason why Tommy says that, if you have not like seen this movie in a long time, is because
Father perception.
he introduces her father. She introduces him as her father. So like, yeah, so Tommy's natural reaction is like, "Oh, you're her father." The father gives the bride away.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a purely innocent comment on Tommy's part, but you see the flinch. And I love how David Carradine does that. It's like a flinch, like a slight flinch.
And then he kind of freezes, and it's like, that's asking a lot.
Yeah.
His body language his body language gives away a very darker, smoldering hatred that this man is wanting to bring out.
So I just want to get a shot. He was like, "Yes, sir," which is like, I like. Hold on.
Yeah, right there.
I love this. I was in place a little bit. It's how it pans out.
Yeah.
Like, Bill's not even seated. He's still standing because he asked Tommy, like, "What side's the bride's?"
Yeah. And then he just steps over. Yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta pause and start it because if you play a little too long, YouTube doesn't like that, even without any sound.
Yeah, or if you go more than like 15 seconds.
Like this shot here.
Yeah.
They stop, all in black, they're holding their guns. Well, Bud's holding them behind them. The women are holding them to the sides, and Bud's like casually just walking up with his gun behind him. Boom.
Bud's Johnny Cash in it, man.
Yeah. And I noticed I was watching the scene, and I was watching this movie like earlier. You see Bill in the window move out of the way. Right here, I think you see him move out of the way. Right there, boom.
Yeah. And it's like, "No, Bill!" And that's when she realizes exactly what the fuck is about to happen.
Yeah. And I love how, I love how you don't see it as it's happening. You see the lead up to it happening, you see the aftermath of what happens, but you don't see what happens. You just hear the gunshots and you hear the screams. And this is basically harkens back to me. It harkens back to basically, classic films where it's like you didn't have to see everything to know what was happening. You didn't have to see like all the blood splatter, all the gore, or anything like that. That's what it feels like to me. At least when I'm watching this, that's what it feels like to me because I grew up watching films from. I've seen films from every decade.
Yeah,
I've seen films from every decade, and even classic horror did that. So this is what I appreciate about the older horror movies. Like before the slasher craze took off in the 80s, pretty much. And I do like slasher films in general. But I prefer the older films because you didn't see everything. Hollywood left it up to the viewer's imagination of what was happening.
Yeah.
They left it up to the viewer's imagination because a normal person, I'm excluding the SJWs and all those tards nowadays, pretty much. But a normal person's imagination can come up with far worse than anything Hollywood could show.
Mm-hmm. Considering what they showed in the first, what they did to her after they killed everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying leaving it up to the imagination is sometimes better than actually seeing it because a person's imagination is far worse can come up with a far worse scenario than anything Hollywood could show.
I mean, folks, if you really want a good exam or a good testament to that, just read one of my tweets from earlier about infinite universes and infinite possibilities because in my head, it's basically I can think of a multiverse worth of possibilities of people and I don't just go towards the more positive stuff. I also go towards the more darker aspects. Like, for fuck's sake, if there was chances are in infinite universe, there's a version of Mara that is a serial killer. I mean, there's a version of me that's probably that kind of type of person too. There's a version of Mara that's probably a freaking politician. There's been all sorts of stuff too.
I'm actually more comfortable. I'm actually not comfortable. That's like poor wording, but I'm actually like more like, oh, like serial killer, politician. No, fuck that. I'm not a politician.
Well, that's part of the whole tweet. It's like you gotta, or you look at, or what we would never do in this lifetime, due to probability and possibility.
Mm-hmm.
There is a chance that we would do it in a different lifetime.
Yes. So,
but yeah.
I'd probably be more like the V for Vendetta type of politician. But anyway, if I were now, I'd be the V for Vendetta.
Which almost edged out on the. There's still time to vote on the.
You still got like 2 days roughly, chat. If you haven't voted, vote.
I'm
not voting.
Pin post.
I'm not voting to kind of pull a Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, like, give it like to you, the people. I'm letting the people.
We give it to you,
the
people.
Yeah, we give it to you, basically. So whichever one you guys vote for the singles next month is the ones that we will watch. Mm-hmm. Singles next month, by the way, is X-Men, the original.
1s and 2s.
Yeah, ones basically. X-Men and X2, X-Men United. All right, so like. Whatever you think about Bryan Singer, yes, he is a fucking perv, but those movies are very good. Those movies are very good, and we are going to talk about them.
And there's a universe. He's not.
Yeah.
But getting back to this, I mean, yeah, you can pretty much delve into an imagination where it is far worse for her but that's the thing about Tarantino. He's not afraid to go there. No. He really isn't. He is not afraid to go there, because if you watch his later movies and even his earlier movies, you've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, yeah?
Actually, no, I've not seen that one. I do know, like, that's like not centered, but takes place around the time of the Manson murders, right?
Yeah, it's basically a what if alternate.
I think
they went to the wrong house?
That and the Hateful Eight are the only ones I have not seen, but everything else I have seen.
It's basically a wrong house scenario for that whole situation.
Yeah,
but
technically
he goes to some very.
It wasn't technically the actual scenario was it wasn't the wrong house, but they weren't the targets because Manson actually tried cutting a record deal.
And Polanski fucked him over? No,
not Polanski. No, this other man. I can't remember who he was the son of, but he was basically a record producer. And I can't remember who he was the son of, but he's like basically the son of a famous actress. All right. And he's a record producer, and he turned Manson down. Because Manson obviously sucked. Like he had no fucking talent whatsoever. And this one, but I can't remember the guy's name. But like he turned Manson down. He basically turned him away. And that man lived at that house at one point when Manson was trying to get that record deal cut, but moved and sold it to Polanski and his wife. So right house, but those people weren't the target.
Wrong time. Yeah. Wrong people. He wanted to kill. Yeah. But anyway, back to the movie, because we just went off on a tangent here.
Yeah.
But
back to the movie. So it opens with this, and then
I like what he says to Bill when he's like, "Can't we just forget the past?" And I like how he looks at him, and he's like, "I don't dodge guilt, and I don't Jew out of paying my comeuppance."
Yeah.
Because it's like this dude knows.
Yeah, I believe it's Terry Melcher. Thank you. Yeah, he was a target. But anyway, but he's basically saying this is like like when I talked about it last week. He says, it's like we deserve to die. She deserves to have her revenge. So he's basically accepted his likely fate. He fights back, but like he says, I'm not going to run.
Yeah,
I'm guilty as proverbial sin. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to try to weasel my way out of her getting her revenge. Try to convince her not to do anything. I'm just gonna. She comes for me.
Yep. And I do love that. It's like, I'm a bouncer in a blank bill or blank bar bill because we can't exactly say it on here.
I'll say it. He says that he's a bouncer in a titty bar, like the My Oh My bar, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's the bar's name. My Oh My.
If she wants to or if she wants to fight, all she needs to do is come down to the bar, start some shit, and we'll be in a fight. And it's like, dude, she comes down to the bar, she's spraying it full of bullets.
Yeah,
she will fucking rain hell on an establishment just to make sure you are dead.
Yeah.
Because
if she were
this
to go
is
to
a
the
woman
bar,
with nothing to lose.
Yeah, if she were to go to the bar, chances are she would not go to. I'm saying, like, if he were actually thinking, he would know that she would not go to the bar because she has nothing against any. There's other people. She has nothing against them, and she would not risk any collateral damage.
Nope.
No.
But at first, when I saw this movie and the stripper that's in with his boss, I thought that was Jamie Gertz for a moment, and it's like, Jamie Gertz. And then it's like, no, can't be. But yeah, I also like how he inadvertently rhymes. He's like, but then again, so does she. So I guess we'll see, won't we? And then he just looks up at Bill and smiles, and it's like,
won't we? Like, hey, I rhymed.
Yeah, it's like, well, that was unexpected.
Yeah, and like, I think that this is the first, like, this is like basically, like, the movie begins essentially after she, like, the bride has killed Copperhead.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's on her way to cut through the remaining two to get to Bill. And Bill, so he's offering help to Bud.
To his brother, yeah.
Yeah.
I did some counting when I counted all the people she killed or that were in the thing of the Crazy 88. There's like 40 odd plus. There's like 40 or 50. There's not 88, but there's 40 or 50. Because that's part of this. He's like, tell me she cut her way through 88 guards before she got to ORN. No, that wasn't 88. They just called themselves Crazy 88. How come? I don't know. Guess they thought it sounded cool.
Yeah, I believe the opening scene. Well, like, she didn't kill Bud. Elle killed Bud. But I think like after she's taken out, essentially these two.
Well, that's the thing. She actually doesn't even kill Elle.
No, I'm saying, like, I said, was I taken out? I mean, like, she's dispatched them basically. Like, Elle is pretty much dead because she's blinded and there's a black mamba in the trailer.
Yep, she fucks up or she goes into the wrong place. It's like bit dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
She leaves it to fate. She yanks her eye out, she blinds her, and she leaves it to fucking fate. I also do like how she crushes the eye with her bare foot.
I still find that gross. I still find that gross.
I do too. I mean, it's because you can see the shit sneaking up her foot.
She steps on it with her bare foot, and I'm like, ugh.
And it gets up between her toes, and it's like, oh, God, yuck. But yeah, we also learn how Elle lost her other eye, which turns out to be.
So like we're kind of I don't want to say skip over Bud's part, but let's like just like focus on him for a little bit because like I said, he works as a bouncer. He lives in the middle of nowhere, and you have Bill offering to help him, and Bud claiming that he pawned his Hattori Hanzo sword for $250. Find out that was a lie later on. But I don't think we need to see the scene where like Bud arrives at work. Oh, I do want to show the scene where he arrives at work late because I forgot.
There's something that they did do. They actually cut a tiny bit of dialogue from his boss because he's like, and before you go, Rocket wants to see you. She has a job for you. When I'm watching it, or I was watching it, my digital copy of it, they cut that bit out, and I'm like, well, what the fuck just happened here?
Well, it's in this version. It's in this version. But I forgot Sid Haig was in this small role, very small role. Not exactly a blink and you miss it role, but if you're not paying attention, you'd miss it kind of role. And he's the bartender in this. And I'm like Sid Haig and Tony Todd are pretty much like icons in horror movies.
Sid Haig, isn't he? What's the damn movie? I can't think of it, but I do. Or I do.
If you know
the
Rob
movie.
Zombie's movies,
Yeah,
you've seen Sid Haig.
yeah, that guy. Isn't he that one that crazy? Didn't he die recently, like 2 years ago?
Yeah, he died recently. Yes.
Yeah, he was the one that dressed up like a clown, I think.
In one of the movies, yeah, like you've likely seen the iconic image of that, like him in that makeup. That's Sid Haig.
Yeah.
So, because I wanted to show you the House of a Thousand Corpses, like that. Anyway, that is something that we will not be talking about on any movie stream because as a movie that we wouldn't really be able to show anything of.
House of a Thousand Corpses. I have not seen it, so
you'd remember, if you definitely remember, and you would understand why I would say that we would not be able to show anything.
Yeah, unless we did it on X, then we could show you everything.
Yeah. So, but I wanted to start like normally I would like skip over this part because it's basically just him arriving to work, him getting chewed out by his boss, him being told to basically clean up shit water that leaked all over the bathroom floor. But I wanted to show this because I forgot Sid Haig was the bartender. So I love when you hear the boss in the room in the back and he goes, "Is that Bud? Tommy is fucking yes,
fuck yes, yeah."
And he's like, and Sid Haig's character just like looks at him and goes, "Larry would like to see you." just call me sis. Larry would like to see you.
Larry would like to see you. Just fucking.
I just love that how he handled that scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what? Because you're about as useless as an asshole right here.
Yeah.
You're telling me that you're not doing the job that I paid you to do because you
this
don't
is
have
where
a job
I think
to do.
like a flashback of Bud exiting, like leaving the massacre, and would have it would have been like a nice juxtaposition of what him being chewed out because I'm like, his boss, if you knew what this man was capable of,
like have a shot of him coming in and just spraying, like. Because you see the shotgun on the back of the guy, his boss, and it's like it would have just been so great to have Bud go home with the shotgun and just covered in blood. Yeah,
something.
Because it shows you that Bud is not somebody you fuck with.
No.
Because otherwise, other than the beginning of the movie, he's a fuck up throughout.
Yeah.
And it's like
he is the next one. He is the next one. Ren.
Yeah.
Nearly kills the bride, and he's the next one to nearly do it.
Yeah. I mean, he's skilled, and he's not sword smart. He's practicality. I mean, and that's what it's like. All right, I know you're out there, so I'll just fucking wait for you. By the way, I'll be waiting with a shotgun full of rock salt.
Yeah, this one, this scene here, because he looks up at the cliff.
Yep.
Like he's noticing something, but then it's how the scene plays out. He's sensing someone's there.
Yeah, he knows he's not alone.
Yeah. So he is in tune. He is very much aware. He is very much in tune. He just has a personality of, I don't want to say laissez-faire, but he's like practicality and whatever happens.
Bring it on, and bring it on, and it is what it is.
Yeah, like pretty much is how he lives his life.
I also love the song he's playing because it's not a song that is so much well known by Johnny Cash. It's A Satisfied Mind. It's also one of my favorite songs from Johnny Cash.
And like Trey points out, he's like a savant, almost acting like he doesn't care.
Yep.
Like he doesn't, like he's not aware, like he doesn't notice anything.
Yeah, carefree is the best, or is a good way of saying it.
Kind of carefree.
10 seconds forward. Because there you go.
So she removes the mask because she was hiding underneath the trailer. I love this.
Boom.
Boom.
Hello.
It doesn't matter what you're shot with from a shotgun, you will fly backwards.
Especially if you're going toward it.
Yes. Yeah, she
And
flew back. She flew back like 15 to 20 feet.
So yeah, that's 20 gauge or 12 gauge double.
Yeah.
Barrel.
Full of rock salt.
Yeah. Full of rock salt inner tits.
Yeah.
That shit's got stunning.
Yes. So.
And he says that. He's like, I can't imagine how much that Mustang. And then she spits at him because, well, she's a spitter. And I just love what he does. He's like,
how bad that
just,
Mustang.
Yeah.
And this is like gross, like what he does. I've never liked the chewing tobacco habits.
Neither me. Yeah. She notices he's looking at her, and it's like, yeah.
That's what it spits.
Yeah. Her natural reaction should have been called a cobra.
Yeah.
And then he just
like this. Ugh.
Yeah.
Then when it ends up all over Elle, I was like, oh god, this is nasty.
That's a shot to the face you don't want, ladies. Yeah.
He had her dead to rights. Why didn't he just kill her?
Because he's sadistic too.
Yeah. So it's one of those where it's
like, why?
Like the level of sadism, he wants it to be slow.
Yeah.
And painful.
But he also has a little bit of compassion too. Mm-hmm. But he's very sadistic in his compassion. He won't kill. He'll kill her. He just won't do it himself. He'll leave it to fate, which is essentially what she does in Elle's case, because she couldn't do it with Bud. But yeah, he's like, I'll fucking spray this whole goddamn thing of fate. Oh, by the way, I love how short that other guy is.
Oh yeah,
he lets this fucking like 5 foot nothing. This dude is shorter than you.
He's the one digging in the grave, yeah, and like the one that says, I've seen, like, basically looks down at like the bride. I've seen better.
Yeah, it's like, dude. Something tells me that dude's also Native American.
Maybe, but I love like
because
he has,
he's like white women
choice.
call
like,
this
you can either take a flashlight or a face full of mace.
Yeah,
which is it? And like she nods towards the flashlight. He's like, smart, like good thing, good call. So basically, like he's going to bury her alive underneath the grave, like an actual grave of this woman named Paula Schultz. So that's why the chapter is called The Lonely Grave of Paula Schultz. So,
and you even see the open casket and the dead body.
Yeah.
The desiccated body too. If you pay attention, folks, it's like, Jesus Christ, these people have no fucking shame.
No. And I love how this scene transitions to the flashback to her training under Pai Mei. Because then it leads up to how she's able to escape, which works beautifully because it's believable based on the training she took. And this is okay. We're gonna skip over this. I just want to talk about.
Oh,
let's talk Pai Mei.
Yeah, Pai Mei, dude. Gordon Liu plays like this 100-year-old dude that doesn't look like a 100-year-old dude.
No,
he absolutely despises or he hates Caucasians. Despises Americans, and has nothing but contempt for women.
Yeah. Have fun. Basically, have fun.
But yeah. Will I ever see you again? That's the title of my favorite soul song from the 70s. What?
Nothing. Like nothing.
No.
Basically, he was like, when will I basically she's asking when will I see you again? Like, when he says you're ready.
When he tells me you're done.
Yeah, basically thinking when
so
you're
it's
done.
like she was there for like a couple of years or 3 years or 4, because she's like, at least keep the sass to yourself at least for the first year or so. And it's like, how long is she going to be training with this man? Apparently she trained like for 5 fucking years with him.
Yeah. So she was with him for a long time, but basically like to the point where like he is like, when I say her master, I mean, like she has that reverence for him as like a master and a student because of how long she trained underneath him.
Which is why she reacts so violently to.
Well, she reacts so violently, and you see like the anger in her eyes when we'll get to the part where she's talking to Elle, when Elle reveals what she did.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love that. Or I love this whole sequence. Is like, your Mandarin's lousy. causes my ears to scummer. You bray like an ass. And it's like, this dude is nothing. When Bill says nothing but contempt for women, he's not kidding. And when they are, imagine showing an SJW this scene and be like, just fucking watch and enjoy.
I mean, he
They
puts her in
would
an
be
arm lock. He puts her in an arm lock.
arm lock. He fucking kicks her ass. It's like,
Yeah.
holy shit, man.
Like when he jumps, like and like they did, like jumps on her sword like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that face, like just like kicks her in the face.
It's like, from there, you'll have a good view of my boot. Bam. It's like, oh shit.
Yes. But Trey pointed out, he's an asshole, but eventually he does grow to respect her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she sticks with him for like that many years. She doesn't quit. She doesn't like sass him or anything like that. She actually like admits that she doesn't know anything because like he's asking her, like when he's like yelling at her, she's like, and he I think even when he was yelling at her, and he decided to train her, that your training begins tomorrow. That glimmer of respect started there because she
because
doesn't retaliate.
Well, he's also testing her in this entire dialogue. He's like,
he's testing.
No, I kill at will, right? Yes.
Yes.
Is it your wish to die? No.
Yeah.
Okay, then. I mean, and then he's like, Bill is your master, isn't he? Yes. And he's like, he tells me you're not completely unskilled, so let's see what you got.
Yeah.
And he tests her, but it was her first mistake was swinging at him with the rock while his back was turned. That's why he reacts like this. Yeah.
That's when I say, okay, like he's like fighting, like he's dodging.
Yep.
He laughs. Boom.
Yeah.
Then he turns his back. Well, he catches her like that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like, fuck, I can't move.
And when he spins, he turns his back, and that's when she grabs the rock. That was a big mistake.
Fucker. Yeah.
Boom. That's why he put an arm lock. Yeah.
Yep. And you see that he's a little bit more angrier than he looks than he presents himself, because it's like, now you are showing that you're angry. This can help, but it was a bit dishonorable.
Yeah, because like his back was turned to her, and like I said, like Asian cultures, like I talked about basically Japanese culture last week, and he hates the Japanese. His character hates the Japanese.
I despise the goddamn Japs, is what he says.
Yeah. But like in that culture, it's like honors everything, and the fact that she did that showed a little dishonor.
Yeah,
because his back was turned.
And this guy's Mandarin, so or Cantonese rather. He's not Mandarin; he's Cantonese. And this dude his training compared to, say, Hattori Hanzo. Hattori Hanzo doesn't really train her, but builds a sword and stuff, but it's also a very honor-bound thing, where this one, he will cut you down in order to build you up. Yeah. It's cruel, that they call it the cruel tutelage of Pai Mei, but he is ensuring his methods are proven. He's like, I want you to push yourself as far as you can and then keep pushing, because eventually you'll break, but you will also find you're still there. You are still here. You are able to go further.
And this is
and
I'm not
I love that part
training,
too. Inner
I
sleep.
love
the inner sleep bit right there. It's like, I've done that in my sleep by accident. I've hit a wall, and it's like, holy shit, that fucking hurt.
Because he's basically, this is like the part I love when he's having her.
Yeah, the 3-inch punch. Yep. Yeah, and you see the skin peeling right there, and it's like,
like that is also where I'm like, oh god, because it's like someone who's like been injured like that. I'm like, that's fucking painful. But
folks, to give you an idea of hand damage, I can do this with this hand. I can't do it with this hand. You see the difference?
Yeah.
It's because with this hand, I punched a concrete wall when I was 13. And let's just say it wasn't my proudest moment. Because it's like, I didn't know that I had damaged these two knuckles irreparably.
Yeah.
So I never went to the hospital, and they unfortunately had permanent damage.
So,
But I could still punch.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
but like, you know, again, I love his tutelage because he
Yeah.
asked her, because he punches his board twice, and he asked her if she can do it, and she's like, yes, but not that close. He's like, well, what if your
Then
opponent's
you
only 3
can't
inches
do
away?
it.
Like, what if your opponent's only 3 inches away? Like, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm. You're gonna
He's
put
just
your
like-
fist through him.
Yeah. Like,
But I also love it because he's like, "Can you do it? I can, but
Yeah.
not that close." Then you can't do it.
No.
So you're gonna learn to do it.
yes.
And I also love that because your arm belongs to me. I want it stronger.
And well, one way to get it strong is a workout like this, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because if
I
you
mean,
can if you can punch from like that far
Yeah.
away,
I mean, do you see how thin she looked in this sequence where she's carrying water up the things? I mean, you see her rib cage starting to show, man, and
Yeah.
her arms are gangling. It's like, is she building any muscle definition? Because I think she should at least have a little bit there. But damn,
well, depending on when like that started, because like I said,
Yeah.
like he's part of his training is making her, even though her hands are hurting, making her use chopsticks
oh yeah,
for the rice.
yeah,
So
because
chances are she's not getting a lot of nutrients at this point, if that
Yeah.
was early on in her training. But anyway,
and I love that too because she's like, fuck it. And the second she tries taking a bite, bam! It's
Yeah.
like I jumped in the theater. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because like she tries, like you fucking started using her hands, and he's like knocks it away.
Yeah. If you're
So
gonna
like-
eat like a dog, you will sleep and drink like a dog, and I'll treat you like a dog. If you want to eat like a human, then you pick up those fucking chopsticks.
It's pretty
I love it.
just of what he tells her.
And yeah, he then starts seeing that she's starting to turn off that pain. She's
Yeah.
starting to move past that pain.
Mhm.
And that's when he starts nodding and being like, she's got that gift. She is a warrior.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's like I said, I love how like that flashback leads into this
Yep.
because that's
Where
what
she breaks
uses,
out
where she breaks out, where she's able to punch
through.
through after she
Yep.
frees her hands.
And gets a razor out of her boot. Now, folks, just remember, she was shot in the chest, her boobs, skin, and blood with rock salt.
Yeah.
She went face down. She's climbing out through dirt. How the fuck did this woman not get an infection?
I don't know.
I mean, rage must have burned her blood, boiled her blood so much that there was no chance of an infection to come.
She's like, okay, fine,
Because
Meg.
it's like, holy shit, man. Yeah, here I come. Boom. And I love how they swallow the music.
And it's like this shot here. Hold on, after she gets out. I love
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like this. It's like guys just like it's late at night, not expecting anyone.
Trail
And you
of
see
dirt
this
just coming
with the
off her.
dirt falling
Yeah.
off of her as she's walking across the streets. She gets in, sits down. Like,
Yeah. Have a
Water,
glass of water,
please.
please.
love that.
And she smiles, and he's like, "Yeah, sure."
And I love his reaction. Says like most likely not the weirdest shit he's seen.
I mean, yeah,
He's like, it's too late. It's too late in the evening for me to to care about what's going on. I'll just get you your water. That's what I'd be
Mhm.
like. You look like you have a story. I'm too tired to care right now. Here's
Yeah.
your water, pretty much.
yeah. It's like, holy fuck, man. We are like open. Nobody fucking here. I'm tired. But what the fuck is this coming at my freaking place?
Yes, like I don't get paid enough for this. I don't get paid
It's like-
enough for this.
Yeah. So then I like how they play the scene where she arrives and then they go back and she sees her arrive. That is
Yeah.
actually a pretty interesting thing because it shows her that from their perspective, her arrival, and then
Yeah.
it shows from her perspective the arrival.
Yeah, So
to basically
Elle,
show that this, yeah,
this basically Bud called Elle, and
wanting $1 million for the sword,
yeah, pretty much.
and it's like, how did? I'm sorry, but if this dude knows about Elle and how what she is like and whatnot, how the hell does he not suspect that she would do something like this? You know?
That's the thing, like, it's like as smart as he is, pretty stupid in this scene.
Yeah.
Now,
That's his funeral.
yeah. So, but let's talk about Bud, Elle Driver, aka
Elle,
California Mountain Snake.
She is sadistic, she's twisted, she's deceptive, duplicitous. She is all of that, and somehow she thinks she is Bill's girlfriend. She thinks she is B's replacement, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, honestly, I don't think he ever really embraced her like that. I mean, he made her think so, maybe, but I don't think he ever really cared, because he's also looking after her daughter, and he knows what's eventually going to come. So it's like, you're not, or look, you're a piece of ass. That's pretty much all you are, but you're also an assassin of mine too. So I will hold you at arm's length, but you still have the sweet talk that I'll give you.
This I can see. It's still. I'm not saying like he's stupid. I'm saying like it's like stupid for him to think that his relationship to Bill would at all save him from this woman.
Well, actually, honestly, if Bill ever found out or I'm willing to bet, say, cut B out of this entire situation, she goes back to Bill, she is dead, because she's not stupid. She slipped a black mamba in his trailer. That doesn't sound like B.
No.
She would want to kill direct.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a duplicitous little rat that's going to kill somebody in her sleep. Like, I don't know, Elle. So yeah, as soon as she came home or came back to the hacienda or wherever, Bill would fucking coup de grace this bitch.
Mm-hmm. If he found out, that's how. Because he would know. I'm saying he would find out. Like, he would find out. But in the conversation she has with him, she claims that
Beatrice did it all.
We find out Beatrice Kiddo killed Bud.
Yeah, Beatrice.
It was too late. She got him, basically.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, now that I think about it, it's like,
why does she look like Michelle Pfeiffer in this?
The thing is, like, Bill would have put two and two together, because the way, like, she does tell him that if he wants to basically walk down memory lane to visit the grave of Paula Schultz.
Mm-hmm. If you're feeling
sentimental. So if that's where the last resting place of Beatrice Kiddo is, how did Beatrice Kiddo kill Bud?
Yep. I got her dead, but if you're feeling sentimental, or I killed her, she's dead. But it's like, slipping, or Bill would know. It's like Black Mamba in
and
her,
he put you and two
in
together.
His trailer. Yeah, it's like, let me ask you something, Elle. When you killed my brother, did you really think I wouldn't know when you told me that Beatrix slipped a Black Mamba in his trailer? As if that is not completely just an obvious thing that you would do.
Yeah.
As you are a slithering little psychopathic bitch.
Yeah.
Do you really think I would abide my brother being killed? The only man I ever loved.
Yes, which is what we see etched on the sword, because like we find out, shocker, surprise, surprise, Bud was lying about pawning his Hattori Hanzo sword. He has it, and it's engraved, basically, to Bud. To my brother Bud, the only man I ever loved, Bill.
Yep.
So
yeah, it does cut. Yeah, Trey, I'm not alone there. Okay, good, because this shot that she's paused on right here, that does look like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Kind of does.
Yeah, it's like.
But I knew Daryl Hannah. Like, she was in Splash, right? And I knew her from the 80s movies.
Mermaid movie with Tom Hanks.
Yeah. So I knew her primarily from those movies, and then like to see her years later as like a completely different role. I'm like, she doesn't get the credit I think she deserves as an actress because she's like was in those romantic comedy type movies in the 80s, and she can pull off a sadistic bitch.
Yeah, although they do give her quite a splash in the next few scenes.
So, and like she had put like basically to speed up basically the scene. She put a black mamba into the case she was carrying that had the money.
Yeah, under a couple of the folds of cash.
Yeah. So she's more evil than Oberyn. Yeah, like Oberyn is a psychopath. Oberyn is a straight up psychopath, but there is a level of sadism that Elle has that Oberyn does not match.
Oberyn is a psychopath. Elle is a sadistic psychopath.
Yeah.
Because what was the one thing she told her? She must suffer till her last breath.
Yeah.
If you're going to kill her, you make her suffer.
And like she's reading like basically the facts about the Black Mamba as he's dying. So it's like that's again level of sadism.
Yeah. And then she also tells her, it's like, you ask me which R I feel at this point, regret or relief. Regret, because she met her end at from a little bastard like you, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love this. Every time she tries to pull
draw the sword, it's like she's in a trailer, so she doesn't have the room to draw it. Because like anyone who's drawn a samurai sword, basically what you're supposed to do is you don't just draw the sword from the sheath, you pull the sheath at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So she's actually not drawing it properly. She's in a trailer, so she's in a confined space. But what she should be doing, if she's drawing it properly, is pulling the sheath at the same time she's pulling the sword.
Yep.
Because what you're supposed to do is once you draw it, toss the sheath.
Yep. Toss. Unless you're going to be like Ren, and then you're going to use it.
I'm saying, but like basically that's how you're supposed to, like Ren, like how Lucy Liu drew it, that's how you're supposed to draw it. This she's not drawing it properly. Unless
you go real traditional samurai and you draw from your hip.
Yeah. Even then, you still pull on the sheath. Even like the sheath is like
you're
attached
still
to your hip, you still pull on the sheath.
But
at the same time, like how she's doing it here, just like FYI, chat, it's a little bit like knowledge that I have is she should be pulling the sheath, which she could use as a weapon against Beatrice at the same time while she's drawing the sword.
Yeah.
So
but
I do appreciate this because like she keeps trying to draw it and she's stopped by like the wall, the door, like everything ceiling, in this trailer,
everything in between. It's like
what? What the fuck? He's trying to draw this sword.
I mean, it's just
I appreciate the fact that the humor in this fight.
Because this fight, while it has these small humorous bits, is very fucking personal.
Yes, I'm saying like
these two hate each other.
There's intimacy with the fight with Bill, if you could call it a fight. Basically, they do interact, but it's like but like there's a level of intimacy there. There's not like a straight up. When I say brawl, I mean like straight up fight like this. Like this is a level of like I've hated you for fucking years, and I'm gonna kill you now.
This is Bud was hate. This is rage. And then rage gives way to love in this way, or in this sort of twisted revenge tale.
Yeah,
because she's in a way she does still love Bill to a degree, because we'll get to that after.
Yeah, and this she gets basically doused with. It's not doused, but it's like it's like she not the spit bucket is splattered with the chew spits from Bud. So she got that all over her face, and then she's basically put into the toilet water, so she's wet from that.
Yeah,
I'm that's.
I love that.
And that's I'm gonna see if I can shot of a. Boom! There it is. So we find out. Bud was a liar.
Yeah,
he still had a sword because, which is what Beatrice finds during the fight, and this right here,
is
this. We find out how Elle lost her one eye, and now she really pisses off Beatrice
Yeah.
when she tells
Call
her
him
like,
a miserable old fool.
that she killed Paimei.
Oh my
Poisoned
gosh, she
his
delivers. Yeah, she delivers such, or the way she's laughing, she's like, "That's right, I killed you, missed." And it's like, dear God, that is so cringy, but it works.
It works.
Yeah,
I just because like she still has like it's like 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 in just still in the delivery there's that sadism like like
Mhm.
that basically that deep down she's like finding this pleasure in like seeing Beatrice's emotional pain.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Trey, I nearly puked when I first watched that part.
The spit bucket. Ugh.
You got that much of a gag reflex, do you?
Not really.
I'm
But it's
talking
like, but
Trey.
I've seen. But when I was in the military, one of like my commanding officers did chew. So I'd like he'd
Really?
use a cup and I'd see it. Yeah, like, you could do it. You
Yeah.
could still do it. So I like basically he'd have like a cup next to him and yeah, I
Yeah.
always found it disgusting.
My brother had a friend who stayed with him for a bit who did chew, and he would put it in bottles.
I think
That
he also
were
did
clear.
bottles too, but it's like basically like he pitched it afterwards. But you'd see the brown liquid in the bottle.
The
I'm like,
jackass would never get rid of it.
no.
And it's like, dude, toss that shit.
Yeah,
For fuck's sake. People
But
don't
I'm
want
like,
to come
yeah,
visit
they
in here and looking at
always-
that. What the fuck?
always found it
But anyway.
disgusting. Always like that's like just the nastiest fucking habit I think I've ever seen anyone do.
Yeah.
And I like again and again, like I'm not like I'm not one to like generally shame people, but dear God. Anyway,
Mara doesn't chew.
I don't chew. No.
No, she hates it. But yeah, I love that when she pops her eye. It's
I love like basically
blonde and green, or blonde hair, green eyes, both of them.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
mm-hmm. So it's like it's they are the complete like they look the same, but they're complete opposites of each other.
Yes, very much.
So
Where Paimei respects Ellie, he had nothing but contempt, or he respected Beatrix, nothing but contempt for Elle, because Elle never earned the respect.
well, she never earned respect. Like Elle's the type of person that like she will follow Bill, but anyone else trying to tell her what to do, she won't do it. So she's that type of person, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's like, what did you say to Paimei to get him to snatch out your eye? And then you see that he snatches
Okay.
it out.
And
Right,
I'm gonna
yeah.
like display this like real fast. Like they're close to each other, and like Beatrice sees her moment. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
And now Elle is completely fucking blind.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna show the eye switching cushion because I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, because it's like, oh shit, man. Because she is freaking out through the whole damn thing, and it's
Yeah,
awesome.
in the bathroom, she's like, it's like just like he's
Yeah.
like basically in the fight, like walls were breaking, things like that. It's just she's continuously breaking the tile off the bathroom wall because she's like, bitch, I will find you. And she's like,
kill you, I'll fucking kill. Oh shit! It's like, I love how that's basically the last bit. She's like, oh shit! It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
And the last
she's
thing you
just
hear, like
pure
you
pain.
really hear of her, like she's still making noises as like Beatrice is leaving, but the last thing like you really hear from her. And then like Beatrice, I love the subtlety. Like Beatrice passes the Black Mamba, and the Black Mamba just goes back, like doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
Like,
it just hisses at her, and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Get away, but I ain't touching you.
Yeah.
I got food in here.
so, and like, basically it's like left up to the audience. Does Elle survive or not? I'm of the mind like that she doesn't survive. Like she's in a trailer, she's blinded. There's a Black Mamba there. At some point, the
thrashed,
Mamba's gonna
yeah.
get her.
Yeah, at some point she's gonna flinch the wrong way, and that Mamba is already tracked to her heat. So yeah,
And even if she did somehow manage to get out of the trailer, she can't find her way back anywhere. She's in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
She's gonna die either way. She's pretty much dead. She's pretty much dead woman walking at this point
yeah,
in the trailer. So Elle doesn't kill Bud, doesn't kill Elle, still gets her revenge. So I'm saying she dies somehow.
Yeah.
And like how we don't see how she dies.
We don't need to. Leave
don't
it to
need
the
to.
imagination.
Yeah, leave it up to imagination how she dies. Did she get bitten by the black mamba? Did she somehow make it out of the trailer without getting bitten, but die from heat exhaustion, starvation? What?
Yeah.
So
Maybe she got so far, but that fucking mamba tracked her and fucking bit her at the last moment. It's like, oh, finally I can on the road. Maybe somebody will say, oh, fuck, what the hell just bit me?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Just to be a fucking bitch. But anyway, Jade calls her favorite. Whoa, Winky, dude, come on now.
This dude here,
Esteban Vejeo.
Yeah, it's like basically like it just adds a layer to Bill's character because he would know where Bill is. That's why she's coming to him. Bill was pretty much raised by this man. This man is a pimp, essentially. There's women around him are hookers.
Yeah.
And like he basically raised Bill, and like how he found out, like, you know, that Bill had a thing for blondes is because when Bill was a kid, they went to go see The Postman Always Rings Twice, which is a good movie. I don't like what happens to the cats in the movie, but the movie itself is good with John Garfield and Lana Turner. So it's a good noir film. Because like, that's how he knew that Bill had a thing for blondes, because Bill started sucking his thumb every time Lana Turner was on screen. I'm like, okay, I gotta ask you guys, did you do that? When you found out that you were like, you know, straight or you had a type, you started sucking. I've never heard that. He said that's what Bill started doing every time Lana Turner was on screen.
My first crush, it's just I when I was around a person who I considered a crush, I fully admit in my youth I was shy. I would just kind of curl like this. I would drop my neck into my body, essentially.
Yeah. So really, Soul? That is just disgusting.
I saw a kid put
the chew in his mouth.
Oh, fuck, man. Damn.
Anyway, I did like this small scene. Like like I said, the only really importance to this guy is basically, you know, like you find out more about Bill, and you find like he's able to tell Beatrice where Bill is, pretty much. Yeah. So I liked his performance. Not really much to say to this scene, like other than like what I said. He's a pimp.
Yeah.
He basically like, you know, he raised the boys that like basically were birthed by his hookers, and they became like this. Was that group name?
Oh my god.
He raised like he said, you know, basically they.
Akuta boy or
Akuta boys basically. Like they were the sons of the hookers basically when they got pregnant, and he would like raise them, and like so kind of he was like you know, leader of like their gang essentially, at the same time being a pimp. So and this scene plays out like actually longer than like you would expect it to play out when she finally gets to Bill.
The daughter was such a great. I mean, does she know her daughter's alive in the beginning or at the end of the first one? But then it's like you completely forget because you're so immersed in the revenge story that holy shit when she's there, and then it happens and it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, because when she comes in with a gun.
Yeah.
Boom. And then like the look on her face. Freeze, mommy.
Yeah, it says it all. It's like, oh shit. She thinks, or the kid thinks that her mom's playing a game.
Yeah.
Except that Bill played that brilliantly. Bill fucking played that masterclass.
Yeah. That's why he's a snake charmer. Like so he has,
because he knows. He's like, she's gonna probably be coming in with a gun. So we'll play guns. We'll make sure that but this is also how well you see Bill, and you see you see how well they adapt to the situations.
Mm-hmm.
Because she just plays on with it, you know. After the initial shock, it takes her a small bit because the kid's looking at her like, "Why aren't you playing back, mommy?" And you know,
but then Like,
Yeah,
oh,
so,
you know,
die.
yeah.
And it's like, okay. It's such a great. These are such great moments, and then unfortunately, the kid semi is already tainted because she had just learned about life and death because she killed her fucking fish.
It's like another thing, like again, like appreciate this scene is like we find out why Beatrice never told Bill she was pregnant, why she left, why she allowed him to think that something had happened to Beatrice on her the last mission he sent her on, because she didn't want that.
Nope.
Her child's life to be tainted like that. She wanted her she said I wanted her to have a clean slate.
Yep.
So I left.
And I love how the discussions with Bill where she goes for the sword, and I love how quickly he draws, and it's like the way that he delivers all his lines. James Carradine is just David Carradine, sorry, is so freaking great. It's like, now if you don't settle down, I'm gonna have to put one in your kneecap.
I heard that's a really painful place to get shot.
Yeah,
and it is, chat. I'm not speaking from experience, but I do know you blast out a kneecap, that person's in pain.
Yeah. And then he hits her with the truth serum dart. He's like, don't touch it or I'll put another one right in your cheek. I mean, the way that he is so quick with his reactions and quick with his decisions, but he's also laid back. He's also relaxed. I mean, it is so freaking great. This dude, you can't get a read on him.
No. He's almost like speaking to her as if they're having a normal conversation.
Yeah.
Like it's not exactly interrogation, it's just a normal conversation, and what he wants to know is why.
Yep. It's like, and then he's drinking out in the backyard, and he's like, I'm a killer. I'm a murdering bastard, you know that. But just for the record, letting somebody you know or you love, or letting somebody who loves somebody think that they have died is very cruel.
Yes.
So yeah.
Which, to be fair to him,
had that shit
to be fair to him, like, he's a murdering bastard, but to be fair to his comments, it is cruel.
Yes. Because I wasn't looking for you. I was looking for the fuckers who killed you.
Yeah. He just so happened to track her, find out that she was alive. And that's what pissed him off, because she, she left. No word, nothing. And how'd he put it? He overreacted. He overreacted.
That's your explanation? I didn't say I was going to explain myself.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what happened.
Yes.
But I love that. It's like, why'd you run away with my baby? You know? He has a right the dude has a right as a father, man. We could get into the whole debate, or parental debate, but she made the right decision because of the lifestyle that they were in.
Yes.
So I do side with her in that, but I also agree with what he says. It's like, that ain't just your decision. No. You know?
Yeah. And this is a scene here, which is, I'm gonna just kind of pause on it, because basically she watches the movie with her kid, and he interrogates her with the truth serum that he's basically administered, his own creation, by the way, basically, which is more powerful than the visual truth serum, with a little euphoria later on, as he described it.
Do you feel it? Euphoria? Yeah.
No.
It's like,
so basically, she finds out she's pregnant on this mission he sent. He sent her to kill this woman.
Yeah.
And she got sick on the plane ride over. So basically, when she lands and she gets to her hotel, hotel room, she buys a pregnancy, one of those pregnancy tests, and finds out that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And I love how the scene plays out with the assassin sent to kill her, Karen. I love how her name is Karen.
Karen Kim, and her last name for real is Kim too. So,
yeah. So it comes with a shotgun, basically, to blow away Beatrice Kiddo, and Beatrice convinces her to not kill her, and she's convinces her the reason why is because right now, if this were any other situation, I would put this bullet right between your eyes, we would not be having this conversation, but right now I'm scared shitless for my baby, she says.
Yep. She went pure maternal.
Yes.
But she's also pure mama bear too.
I'm saying it's she's saying, but that as soon as the realization that she was pregnant, and that scenario played out, her instincts were driven by protecting her unborn child.
Yep.
At that point, but
Before-
mama instincts just kicked in,
Yep.
and it's still played out with humor because like she's trying to tell her like look at the pregnancy test. So
It's right
Karen
there.
looks at the pregnancy test like I don't fucking know what this means. The box, it's right there. Read the box. And like the Karen reads out the same thing that Beatrice read earlier when she's like,
Yeah.
going through the directions on the pregnancy test, and like
Blue
and
means
Beatrice
pregnant.
starts, starts explaining it to her. It's like I can fucking read.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Oh fuck. Okay, so what now? You go away.
You go
I'll
away.
do the same."
I'll do the same thing. Like I'm not gonna kill whomever I was sent to kill. I'm just gonna leave. You leave.
Yeah.
We basically go our separate ways. I'm like she's getting out of literally getting out of the game in this scenario. And I
And
love
she
the
does.
shot when the door shuts and it's like the whole like you see Karen's face through the hole,
hole,
like perfectly placed. Congratulations. And she's like this leaves.
And it's like then you see her with relief, but it's like, or I'm always thinking that right after they cut away from that, she's thinking, "Fuck, she took my knife," because the knife's still attached to the fucking shotgun.
Yeah.
Which is
So
great.
but true basically like Beatrice is true to her word, she leaves. And she not only leaves, doesn't complete the mission, but she just abandons Bill and the rest of the assassins. That's why Bill thinks she's dead. Like the other stuff
and
gets
it's like,
fucked up
I
and
mourned
like,
you
she
for
got killed.
Yeah, I mourned you for 3 months, and then I tracked you down, and it's like, wait, if she was only 3 months fucking pregnant, how the hell is she showing that much?
Well, on a thin frame, probably would show that much, but you do start showing at 3 months around like
Well,
the
yeah,
second
I know
trimester.
you get the bump, but it's like, huh? I mean, that's quite. She's really showing there.
No, I'm saying I'm saying my thoughts because she has such a thin frame, and might
Yeah.
show more.
But then again, maybe it took him a little bit longer to, just to
Once
give a little bit.
once he grieved, then the 3
Yeah.
months started. So I could see possibly that being like 5 months, 5 to 6 months.
Hey, yeah, okay,
Oh.
that'll work. But then we get to the final fight here.
And it's still
And-
a conversation. It's still I love how it's still a
Yeah.
conversation. They're sitting
Yeah.
right at the table.
Yeah.
So
But I also love, I mean, this fight takes, folks, this fight is like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Less even.
and I'm fine with it being that that short because there's still, like I said, I keep using this word intimacy between the two.
Yeah. You see just how skilled these two are.
Yeah.
In this fight because he swings, goes again. She tries doing a parry to cover the blade.
Right here.
He swings it right back over. Yeah.
Boom.
right
Use the
here.
sword and put it back up. Boom.
Yep.
Use
Swing
the
there,
sheet to block it. Spins. Boom.
cover.
It's so beautifully
Yep.
done right at the table.
Yeah, and I love
It looks
that
like-
right there because she's going up and he just slashes outward to disarm her.
Yeah, and he's going
But
to
this was
stab
also a
her.
good-
She uses her
Yeah.
sheath.
The thrust
To catch it.
here. Yep.
Boom, 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 boom.
And then 5-point palm exploding heart technique. Crack.
Yeah. And you see like the blood coming out of his mouth because internal bleeding's happening right now, folks.
Yeah, they call it the exploding heart technique because pressure points, all the blood is going into that heart and not having a way out.
Yeah.
Technically, you don't even have to walk 5 steps. You just gotta wait.
Mm-hmm. But I do like that, like he sits there and she allows him that dignified 5 steps.
Yep.
She
And they
waits-
have a nice final
Yeah.
dialogue too. It's like, why didn't you tell me? I don't know, because I'm a bad person. No, you're a wonderful person. You're my favorite person.
Mhm.
But every now and then,
You can be a real cunt.
you could be a real cunt.
I love that
I
line.
love
Every now and then you can be a
Yeah.
real cunt.
No blood hemorrhage. No. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, he bleeds out of his mouth a little bit, but that's basically all there is to it.
Yeah.
The rest of his body or the blood in his body is going to his heart.
Mhm.
Almost like Kiss of the Dragon with Jet Li, where he hits the pressure point that sends all the blood up to the brain.
Yeah.
We should really discuss that one sometime.
Mhm.
Maybe November.
So basically, there is internal bleeding, but it's all going into the heart, which is what, like, basically the explosion, pretty much, is because his heart can only take so much blood without releasing it into the rest of the body. So it's basically making his heart burst.
Yeah.
At, like, you know, like 5 steps, basically, and then boom, heart burst.
Baby didn't look that upset over the death of her father. When you are that young, folks, I lost my great grandfather, who I cared for, or I knew I loved and whatnot. My first funeral was 4 years old, or 4
Same
or
with
5
mine.
years old.
My sit too. I was about 4 years old when she passed away.
Yep. And I went up to the freaking casket, and it's like, great grandpa, you want to play? And that's when they explained what death was. I cried, and then that just triggered all the tears of all the adults in the entire funeral home. But also, like, the next day, I was not bothered. Until the next summer, my grandfather was lying on his back on the couch with his arms folded like this, and I freaked the fuck out.
So I'd say, so it's basically, like, what I would say is, like, probably, and plus we see Beatrice take her kid, like, her kid's still asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So chances are she probably told her, like, oh, like, your dad had to go away, or your dad's, like, you know, way on, like, you know, it's like, or we're going on vacation and your dad's gonna stay here, sort of situation.
Or your dad had a heart attack.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, you know, it's like it
works.
Yeah, like, you know, it's like there's like a multitude of things that she could tell her, like, kid, and her kid be like, oh, you know. It's like,
but also, Bill did tell his daughter the truth of what he did to B. He's like, Daddy did a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And so this kid is already acquainted with death due to the fact that she had already killed her fish.
Yeah.
So she has the taste for it. She has the understanding of it. So chances are the kid could put 2 to 2 together because the kid was sleeping. And I don't care how soundly you sleep, folks. If you hear a fucking revolver go off in your house, you're waking up.
Yeah.
So chances are the kid saw everything and understood what happened. Mm-hmm. But you also see Beatrix later on after this whole scene when she goes to a hotel, she is laughing and crying at the same time. Mm-hmm. She is so conflicted from or now that it's over, but also she loved him, you know, right there.
The thing you're talking about, basically.
Yeah.
With that song playing.
Yep.
You see, like, you know, like, her kid's watching a cartoon.
She needs her time, or she needs this time to grieve, but also let it all out.
Yeah.
I mean, this woman is psychologically been tortured.
Yeah. Well, she's in a coma for 4 years. Because of what he did to her.
Yeah.
She spent all this time seeking revenge. Now it's finally over, and when, like, all this flood of emotions is hitting her. Yeah.
And then she gets back on the bed with her kid and enjoys it, and then we get credits.
This, like, where's that? After the credits roll.
Oh yeah, right there. Yep.
Where's, like, where it says, like, you know, the lioness has her cub. Where is that?
Oh, that's right before credits.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
So go or skip. Just go forward 10.
Yeah, the lioness has rejoined her cub, and all is right in the jungle. Then the credit starts. Because, like, and I love how, like, basically, like, the credits are not just, like, rolling, like, basically, like, you know, like, it's like credits normally do, but it's basically shots of the characters. So Vivica A. Fox, Copperhead, she goes by Vernita Green, her daughter, basically in, like, that chronological order, essentially, when we see them. Finally gets to Beatrice Kiddo, basically Uma Thurman as the bride, aka Black Mamba,
aka Black Mamba, aka the bride, aka Beatrice Kiddo, aka Mommy.
Mommy, answers Mommy. Yeah. Because basically, like, the assassins up to that point basically was, like, you know, Lucy Liu is Oren Shi, aka Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
You know, aka Copperhead, aka Sidewinder, aka Snake Charmer. So it's like AKA.
I love how they show they just showed Bill dead on the ground.
Yeah, they showed
When
him
they
dead on
do
the ground with Snake Charmer. Like that was David Carradine.
Like,
That's what
dude,
they showed.
epic
the movie
foreshadow.
I know the movie's Kill Bill, so
Yeah. I mean,
anyway,
it
that's
just
pretty much
makes
the end of the movie.
sense.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
much in movie chats where it's like that. It's like credits roll, and like I said, this is the ending. Bill is dead. Like the whole point of the Kill Bill movies was to kill Bill, and she did it.
I mean, the only justification you have for a continuation is for the kid from the first movie to want to kill her years later. You know, when you grow up, if you still feel raw about it, I'll be waiting.
So maybe, but at the same time, it'd have to be like Kill the Bride or something like that.
Yeah, it would have to be Kill the Bride.
A Kill Bill saga movie or something like that. It wouldn't be like a Kill Bill 3 because that doesn't make any sense title wise.
And have fucking Zendaya do it, or have the original actress come back for it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, this movie was like the first movie was like came out in 2003. It's only be 21-ish years later.
Yeah.
Could do it.
Yeah, they could. And then you can also have her daughter basically just or she's not living that life that her mother grew up in. So, I mean, there is a story that can be told.
Mm-hmm.
But calling it Kill Bill is just not right.
Yeah, but anyway, but that is hey gaming. We're just wrapping up. We just got through talking Kill Bill Volume 2, and tomorrow I'll be on Orange Hat's stream talking The Quick and the Dead,
exclusively on X, folks.
Yes. So
8:30
even good for
PM.
marketing, I'm like doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it would be Kill Bill. Yeah, from the same timeline as Kill Bill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kill the Bride.
Yeah. So yes, this is on
Kill
Orange Hat
B.
Twitter. Yeah, we'll be talking The Quick and the Dead, which I'll be watching tomorrow, and then Friday I'll be spending a chunk of my day because I know I can't watch it in one go. Watching the fucking first 3 episodes of Rings of Power. Why they're each an hour long, I have no fucking idea.
Because they need to get that story going. Otherwise, people will be bored. I'm already bored and I'm not even watching it.
There's like nothing to do. Anyway.
Your eyes do not consent, I know.
But I'll be watching that. I'll be watching my special copy. And it's going to take me, when I say at least 3 hours, I mean it's because I'll be pausing periodically to take notes.
Yeah, pausing to take notes, but also to try to calm herself down because she's going to be hate watching this.
Well, not necessarily hate watching.
Not
I guess not just hate, not hate watching to an extent, but also basically to break down everything that they do in detriment to Tolkien's name.
Yeah,
they broke lore left and right in the first season. So
yeah, they did.
There's not when they came out with articles after Rings of Power season 2, season 2 would be more canonical. Fucking how?
You guys already violated so much timeline that there's no matter what you do, you've already turned a good chunk of the base against you.
Yeah. There's nothing they could do to make it canonical at this point because where's Celeborn? He's supposed to be alive. He's married to Galadriel. They're in at one point in this timeline, they're in Lothlorien because that's where they settle. Their daughter is born, Calabria.
Yeah. And not only that, folks. Oh fuck! I forgot what. Oh yes, never forget. YouTube and Amazon collabed in order to wipe out dislikes from their original teaser for season 1. So that teaser literally has the most dislikes ever on YouTube. It has 4.5 million, regardless of it saying 1.9.
Yes. So, yeah, but I'll be ranting about it. I won't be doing a stream necessarily breaking it down, but I will talk about it on Talk Nerdy. I'll break it down, at least what I'll talk, not everything, but I'll mention the shit that happened in the first 3 episodes. But I do plan to be streaming Friday evening because I feel like at that point I am going to need to shoot something, and I might as well just be safe and shoot in a video game.
Let her cook.
Yeah, so,
That's
and I'll be ranting. So I feel, hey, Mr. T, hope you enjoyed the replay because we're winding down. But yeah, so like, I will be ranting during that stream if I stream Friday, and I'm hoping to God the wrestling event Bash in Berlin is entertaining Saturday because I will need that as well.
Yeah.
Following Rings of Power. Oh, the original director had one of the best burns I've seen.
Well, not the director of this one.
No,
I know,
fans.
but he went after the fans. It's like, why don't y'all just go out and touch grass? Like, no wonder your fucking movie's in the dirt, you shitbag.
Yes. So that guy attacked fans, but the director of the original, The Crow, basically said, it's like, I thought this was going to be like a cash grab, but there wasn't much cash to grab.
Right? It's like fucking sick burn, dude.
It was like
that's a burn that came straight from hell.
Yeah, like he was like one of the best burns I've seen. Like look it up. Basically, I read it in an article. I was like, that's one of the best burns I've heard in a long time. No ointment
in the world is going to fix that one.
No. Yes, Mr. T. Rings of Power is like what AEW is to you guys.
Wow.
That's what it is to me. But unlike you guys, it'll end in like 6 weeks roughly. You guys get to watch AEW moving forward for your podcast. But anyway, it's like that's the equivalent that I feel. It's like that is my AEW albatross to bear for the next 6 weeks. But anyway, before I give my outro on what's coming up, Orange Hat, let everybody know what you have coming up and all that fun stuff.
Tomorrow is Quick and the Dead, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard on X, so stay tuned for that. Friday night is Orange Hat Uncensored. Saturday is my day off. Friday is Orange Hat Uncensored, 10 p.m. that night. Don't really know. Saturday I'm finally going to see Alien Romulus. Sunday is weekly recap. Monday is Monday Night Rants, and the new theme for Tuesday theme streams is kaijus or kaiju franchise or kaiju movies and whatnot. And the first one is going to be the Pacific Rim kaijus and stuff. So stay tuned for those.
I did not see the sequel. I saw the first one and I was like, this is okay.
The second one is definitely a huge step down, but it has some potential.
So, but anyway,
okay. Just not that good.
Yeah. But as far as like next month goes, for the 1s and 2s, again, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be discussing the first X-Men film as well as X2, X-Men United. As far as I'm concerned, X-Men The Last Stand does not exist. For the singles, we're leaving it up to you guys on X. Basically, vote.
My pinned tweet.
Yeah, vote in the poll. Basically, like your two choices: either the Wolverine and Logan, or Ghost Rider and V for Vendetta. I believe are like the other two choices. So, which ones you want to watch? We're leaving it up to the people for the singles. Leaving it up to the people because we're kind of like
people.
So,
talking about kaiju, have you watched the anime Kaiju number 8? No, I have not.
I need to watch. I was told about that by Biggles Metz, and I need to watch that. He said it's like according to Biggles, it's worth a watch. So I have to find it and watch it.
The end of September is going to be, or the last two themes for September are going to. You all know it's going to be Kong and then Godzilla. I still got to figure out what the second week is going to be.
Maybe Days of Future Past watch party at some point. I'll have to figure out the schedule.
Rogue cut.
Yes, I'll have to figure out the schedule. Or at least if it fits into the schedule. Because this Sunday I plan on showing the movie North by Northwest to my Discord. So if you've not seen that classic film, it's one of my favorite Hitchcock films, and one of my favorite Bernard Herrmann scores. Although I will say that I think probably My favorite Bernard Herrmann score is actually Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, which is a movie I enjoy also very much. But Bernard Herrmann's one of my favorite composers.
Nice.
So I plan on because I watched that with family, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna show that to my Discord because it's a classic. But a watch party also on Saturday of the replay of Bash in Berlin because I can't watch it live. So I'll be watching at the replay later on through my Discord as a watch party. Sunday evening, Talk Nerdy to Us will be on my channel since we skipped last week since I wasn't able to do it. And so my aneurysm will further play out live for Rings of Power on Talk Nerdy to Us as well as other topics. And that will be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Alrighty.
I have no doubt. Mr. T. But anyway, thank you all for hanging out with us. Tomorrow again is the Quick and the Dead with Orange Hats on his X channel, I guess one better way of calling it, his account.
X profile.
Yeah. So we'll see you all then. Same time, 8:30 p.m. So have a good rest of your day or evening wherever you are in the world, and we will see you all tomorrow. Peace.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.